Rain poured relentlessly that morning, streaking the tall glass windows of the city hospital as a man in a tailored black suit stood silently, watching the world blur behind the downpour. His name was Alexander Reed, a millionaire CEO known for his ruthless precision, his empire built on steel and innovation, and his heart long buried beneath grief. In the sterile silence of the children's ward, his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, sat on a bed clutching her favorite stuffed bunny, her wide blue eyes staring into nothingness. She hadn't spoken a word in years. Autism had built invisible walls around her world, and Alexander, despite his money, his power, his endless doctors, had never been able to break through. That morning, everything changed because of one woman. Before we continue this heart-touching story, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of love that changes lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness. Your support helps us keep spreading these stories that heal hearts and restore faith in humanity. Her name was Emma Carter, a quiet, warm-hearted woman who worked as a janitor at the hospital. She moved unnoticed through the halls, sweeping, mopping, and softly humming old lullabies to herself. Most people ignored her, but she noticed everything. She noticed the tired nurses, the lonely patients, and the little girl who never smiled. Every morning when Emma passed Lily's room, she would slow down, glance in, and whisper softly to herself, "Good morning, sweetheart," even though she knew the girl wouldn't answer. One afternoon, while cleaning the corridor, Emma heard something, a faint whimper from Lily's room. The nurse had stepped out, and Lily was trembling in her bed, overwhelmed by the flickering fluorescent light. Emma hesitated. She wasn't supposed to interfere, but something in her heart urged her forward. She slipped inside, turned off the harsh light, and softly pulled the curtains open to let in the warm afternoon glow. She knelt beside Lily and began to hum the same lullaby she sang every day while working. Slowly, Lily's trembling stopped. The little girl turned her head. For the first time, she looked at someone, not through them. Emma smiled, tears welling in her eyes, and whispered, "It's okay, sweetheart. You're safe." From that day on, whenever Emma passed by, Lily's eyes followed her. She even began to hold out her bunny, a silent invitation. Nurses were shocked, doctors were speechless. But Alexander noticed. He watched from the corner of the doorway one afternoon when Emma sat by his daughter's bed, humming softly, brushing Lily's hair with gentle hands. For the first time in years, his little girl smiled. A real, bright, heart-wrenching smile. He wanted to thank Emma, but before he could, everything went wrong. The next morning, Emma arrived to find her supervisor waiting for her, face tight with anger. Someone had reported that she was interfering with patient care. It was against hospital rules for non-medical staff to interact with patients. Despite her pleas that she was only helping, she was fired on the spot. No warning, no apology, just a pink slip and a cold, "You're done here." Emma stood outside the hospital, clutching her cleaning apron, rain dripping from her hair. She had no family left, no savings, and this job had been the only thing keeping her afloat. As she walked away, she tried not to cry. She told herself she did the right thing, that helping that little girl was worth losing everything. But fate had seen her kindness, and it wasn't done with her yet. That afternoon, as Emma waited at the bus stop, a sleek black car pulled up beside her. The window rolled down, and there he was, Alexander Reed, the man whose daughter she had comforted. He stepped out, the rain soaking his coat, his sharp blue eyes soft with something she couldn't read. "Miss Carter," he said quietly, "I heard what happened." Emma swallowed hard, her voice trembling as she replied, "I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to overstep. She looked so scared. Alexander nodded slowly, his jaw tightening, emotion flickering behind his calm exterior. Then he said the words that would change her life forever. "You're not fired, Emma. You just work for me now." He extended his hand. For a moment, Emma just stared, unable to process what she was hearing. Then, slowly, she took his hand, her heart pounding. From that day, Emma became more than a cleaner. She became Lily's personal caregiver, companion, and, in time, the light that guided both father and daughter out of the darkness they had been trapped in for years. The days that followed were not easy. Lily had her meltdowns, her silent days, her moments of fear that no amount of comfort could soothe. But Emma never gave up. She learned every detail about the girl, what calmed her, what frightened her, what made her feel safe. She began teaching Lily small words through touch and routine. "Apple," she'd whisper, handing her a slice of fruit. "Light," she'd murmur, turning on the lamp softly. Each tiny word was a victory. Each smile was a sunrise. Alexander watched from a distance at first, the man who could control entire corporations but couldn't reach his own daughter. But Emma's presence changed everything. Her patience softened the walls around Lily's heart, and slowly, around Alexander's too. He began spending more time at home, sitting quietly beside them as Emma read stories, her voice gentle and steady. Lily began to laugh again, that small, musical sound Alexander thought he'd never hear. One evening, as the golden light of sunset filled the living room, Emma was teaching Lily to paint. Her small hands smeared bright colors across the canvas, messy, chaotic, but full of life. Alexander watched, something in his chest breaking open. When Lily finished, she turned to Emma, smiled, and whispered one word, "Mommy." The room went silent. Emma froze, tears spilling down her cheeks. She hadn't heard that word in years, not since she lost her own child in a car accident that had taken everything from her. Alexander stepped closer, his eyes glistening, realizing for the first time that this woman wasn't just healing his daughter, she was healing herself, too. From that day, things shifted. Alexander began to see Emma not just as an employee, but as someone who had given his family back its soul. The cold, empty mansion that once echoed with silence now filled with laughter, warmth, and the soft sound of Lily's humming, the same tune Emma had once sung in a hospital hallway. Months later, Alexander hosted a small charity gala to raise awareness for children with autism. When asked what inspired him, he looked across the crowd at Emma and his daughter, smiling together in the front row. "Kindness," he said simply. "One act of kindness can change everything." And it truly had. Emma found a new purpose, a new family, and a new beginning. Alexander found his heart again. And little Lily found her voice, one word, one song, one smile at a time. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness. Leave a comment to tell us what part moved you the most. Your words keep stories like this alive. Sparkle's special request. Comment below with, "Kindness changes lives," if you believe one good heart can heal the world.